Welcome back to Astrology by 33, where ancient astrology is made young again. It's an honor to have you here today. The mission here is to revive lost teachings in order to help you grow and to realize the great potential sleeping within you. This is about discovering the truth in astrology and weeding out the rest. Today is all about the sign of Virgo. As we all know, Virgo is one of the main constellations in the zodiac. Something that's really important for people to understand is that if you're a Virgo, you don't want to think that you're only a certain way. If you follow Western astrology, being a Virgo means that your sun is actually in the sign of Virgo. In Vedic astrology, you'll find that Virgo takes on a completely different meaning when the moon enters the sign. When all the different planets enter Virgo, you're going to get different results. Remember, all the planets are inside of you, not just the sun. We don't want to put all of our attention exclusively on the sun or the moon, although they're very good indications as to how you'll experience the world and how others will see you from the outside. This video talks about the energetic nature and magnetism that the sign of Virgo actually signifies. It's good to understand the energy of a sign before you know how the planets will express themselves in that sign. Just keep in mind you have other planets working in your body, making you uniquely you. So let's talk about Virgo. What is it? What does it represent? What is the magnetism of Virgo? You want to think of each sign as a magnet. There are 12 signs, and each magnet will only draw very specific things. For example, a regular magnet, as you know it, will not attract a piece of wood. So the sign of Virgo will only attract and manifest certain things in your life. This can show up as different qualities, objects, or events. Even in people, you can see unique differences, depending on the sign. Virgo is the natural ruler of the 6th house in astrology. So we know that there are 12 constellations in the zodiac, and these 12 constellations exactly correspond to 12 segments in your body. So literally all the constellations are inside of you. You are a walking zodiac. All of the constellations you see out there that you think are in space are actually inside your body, and you have full command and control over them, believe it or not. As above, so below. What is outside of you is inside of you. So the part of your body that Virgo rules over is actually the very middle part of your body. Just look where your belly button is. That is the center point of Virgo. It's the 6th sign, and so it cuts the zodiac exactly in half, which means it cuts your body in half. So just look at your belly button. That's pretty much where you would cut your body in half. Virgo is literally located in your belly button area, which includes your waist, that middle part of your body, and also the 2 hip bones on the side, also known as your pelvis. The symbol that corresponds with Virgo is a woman standing in a boat carrying corn and fire. She's a virgin. So basically, in one hand, she has fire, which we know is light, and in her other hand is grains. It's the harvest of the crop. Virgo is a dual sign. There are 2 aspects to it. There's a movable aspect and there's a fixed aspect. The light and the grains are these dual opposing aspects. One is fixed, one is moving. The grains are fixed, the light or the fire is moving. Virgo is all about preserving the life force in the physical vessel. For example, on a very gross physical level, we see how our diet, or the grains that we eat, the grains that she's holding in one of her hands, if we have a crappy diet, we're likely to get diseases and get sick. If we have a very clean, pure diet of raw fruits, raw vegetables, sprouted grains, things like this, we're able to purify the body to a higher degree. She has fire in the other hand, and we have to remember the purifying force within the physical vessel. If we can run the cleansing spiritual fire through our body and become so pure, at At that point, the physical vessel can become enlightened and immortal. The secret is balancing the physical with that which is not manifested and bringing divinity into the flesh for physical purification in order to allow for the divine to fully manifest and to become a grounded, literal, immortalized, fleshly aspect of divinity. If we can purify and cleanse the physical vessel, that means getting rid of all diseases and all abuse to the body, then we're able to cross that great abyss which goes from having form in your body to being formless. The Virgin is standing in the boat and she's going over water, and that water is crossing the great abyss, going from the gross 3D physical world into the unmanifested, formless nature of divinity. Physical body purification is the secret of uniting these dual forces of fire and grain. Unifying these two forces creates the boat that will take us from A to B, from form to formlessness, and back down the other way, from formlessness to form. There should be no blockage between our physical vessel and divinity. It's a two-way street. Locations on Earth that are associated with Virgo could be lands that grow food and have a lot of irrigation. This could be like pasture lands where cows graze, or large fields where crops grow. That's Virgo. It's a feminine sign. The planet that rules over Virgo is Mercury. Mercury happens to be exalted at 15 degrees of Virgo. It does very well from 0 to 15 degrees as well, and also does extremely well throughout the rest of the sign, which is 15 to 30 degrees. So basically, Mercury in Virgo is a double thumbs up. It's considered very strong here and will give you excellent, favorable results, unless you have bad planets aspecting or near it. The planet Venus is actually debilitated in Virgo, specifically 27 degrees, so just be aware that when Venus is here, the results may not be so favorable. All the signs are tied to different colors. The color that goes along with Virgo is mixed. This could be two different colors in various patterns, like a zebra, for example, it's black and white, or like a clown suit, all the colors on the suit. That would be Virgo. It's not a solid color. And this makes sense because we know Mercury is constantly moving and changing. The nature of Mercury, it can't sit still. This includes the colors that it rules over, so you'll see mixed colors, always changing, up and down, left and right, here and there. Mercury can't sit still, so you'll see that in color patterns wherever it is in your environment. Virgo is actually considered a lucky sign. It's generally good-natured, also known as auspicious. It holds an energy that is designed to ultimately benefit you. So even though this sign rules over enemies and diseases, don't think it's bad. Its actual inherent underlying nature is very good, and it's there to support you and give you benefits. The sign of Virgo is actually Tamastic. That means it has a heavy, materialistic, kind of lazy, focused more on your body, and it's of a slower nature in general. So we know that Virgo is a dual sign. It's both movable and fixed. And when we look at crops or fields, you know the earth is fixed, and we know the sun is fire and moving. But when we have these two forces combine, earth and sun, you actually get a fertile situation. These dual forces combine to create fertility. This is where plants grow. One stays put, one gives the fueling force, and that's how we get food. It's very important. Virgo is an animal sign. It's not mineral or plant, so that means it rules over all beings with life, which includes humans and animals, pretty much beings of higher consciousness, something like a plant or a mineral would not have. It has a higher vibrational rate and it's closer to God as compared to the mineral or the plant signs. This sign is actually considered a human sign. Virgo is strongest in the daytime. So if you're working on your manifestation and you're dealing with the sign of Virgo, make sure you do it during the day as opposed to the nighttime. That's where it's stronger, that's where you'll get better results. The direction in space associated with Virgo is south. A material it corresponds with is bamboo. Virgo is actually a working class sign. It rules over the people who are down and in it. It's the people going to work every day. It's the service industry. It's people providing help to other people. It's the day in and the day out grind. It doesn't deal with the ruling class of people like the kings and authority figures. These are the people who actually get the work done, who take the orders, who are more humble. They work in the fields and the crops. They are the reasons that we all eat food. Somebody has to plant the seeds. Somebody has to pick it. Somebody has to drive it. Somebody has to stock it at the grocery store. So Virgo is all about this class of people that are extremely essential for the completion of humanity and the circle of life. This sign rules over injuries and wounds, things like surgery, or if you have an accident and you sustain bodily injury, if you have broken bones or ulcers, boils, bruises, this kind of thing, that is Virgo. Anything going wrong with your body, look to Virgo. For the same reason, she rules over all disease and sickness. It's your general health. So on the highest level, this sign is trying to tell us that we need to purify our body with fire, which is like God, in order to be able to perceive God from within the lower, denser dimension of flesh. We know Jesus practiced hardcore purification practices in the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights in order to receive the incoming Christ. So Virgo is all about bringing divinity into the flesh. The more purified the body is, the more light that can come in. That's Virgo holding the fire. If our bodies become 100% light, then the flesh can achieve immortality, which isn't talked about a lot. Yogis and masters have done this throughout the ages. So the dirtier our bodies are, the more darkness and death the body will literally hold. Ultimately, we want to transition the diet from a three-dimensional food diet, like grains and all the crap we eat, fast food, that kind of stuff, to the breathless influx of prana from God. We know the scripture that talks about, "Thou shalt not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God." This is a Virgo thing. Do you want real food or do you want spiritual food? There actually are breatharians out there who do not eat physical food anymore. They're well on their way to mastering the energy of Virgo. When we're nourished by God and not the substances from the lower vibrational world, disease and death are naturally removed because we become immortal from this light coming in. We become light. This is part of the reason that it's considered an auspicious sign. I mean, if we achieve immortality, I think that's to our benefit. So building up the light body and burning off the darkness is a key aspect to Virgo. Again, looking at the dual nature of this sign, we have the 3D world of death on the left hand, and on the right hand, we have the immortal dimension of life. Can we balance the two? Can we unite the two and eliminate the duality here? So for this reason, just on a very basic, real, normal level, your health routine and practice, like what you eat every day, what do you have for breakfast? Do you have coffee, or do you have tea, or do you just have water, or water with lemon? You know, your dietary preferences, your physical lifestyle, your workouts. Do you work out? Do you not work out? This is all assigned to Virgo. So if your physical vessel is afflicted, it's more difficult to communicate with and realize God. It just is. You can't have a dirty body and commune with God. It just doesn't work. You can also discover the diseases of your family from the sign of Virgo. We also know that this sign rules over portions or parts, things like partitions, divisions, fractions. If you cut something up into pieces, that is a Virgo thing. That's why Virgo people are known to be very organized and detail-oriented. It's because they know how to itemize things, they know how to divide things up and to categorize, how to be specific. And just practically speaking, you'll see this show up as things like your daily schedule, because it's divided up into time slots. Itemizing things on a menu, that's a Virgo thing. Dividing time, dividing the rooms in your house, that is Virgo. So basically like dividing up space. Creating pie slices, creating sections in a library by subject, Virgo does that. creating different jobs within one company, like janitors versus cashiers versus executives, those divisions, Virgo is responsible for that. Even dividing people, like the Republicans versus Democrats. Division. It's a dual sign, remember. Even dividing your perspective. Dividing the year, like creating seasons. You see summer versus winter versus fall, that kind of a divisional approach to the year. Virgo does that. Virgo even creates duality, like dividing up source energy. Ultimately, God is just one at the top. But down here, we see it as many different things in many different forms, like 12 zodiac signs, for example. Virgo divides up the zodiac because of its inherent energy to divide. And this is really helpful energy because you can organize into specifics. Sometimes people are overwhelmed, like, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna get this done? The project is so overwhelming. But Virgo will tell us, no, just divide it up into different tasks. Just do one thing at a time, but do them in order. It helps us to be specific and to narrow it down by dividing. It's about taking the whole and dividing it into parts, in a nutshell. Virgo rules over weapons. This could be like a gun, or a knife, or a bomb, or chemtrails, self-radiation. Be careful not to put it to your head. Even vaccinations could be considered a weapon if they are designed to actually poison people. We know that there's mercury and formaldehyde, which are cancer-causing substances in these vaccines. So that's just something to keep in mind. Would you consider that a weapon? So Virgo rules over things also that can cause harm to the body. And that's why weapons are here. So if we really look and think about weapons, how does a person react when they encounter a weapon? So Virgo rules over things like danger and dread. Like, how would you respond if someone pointed a gun in your face? That is Virgo. So just imagine how you would feel. Most people would experience fear, worry, fright, alarm, being scared, panic. Like panic attacks are found here in Virgo. Severe anxiety, intense anguish, nervous diseases, humiliation, suspicion, and sorrow. It's mostly that feeling you get when someone points a gun in your face. That's a Virgo thing. That aspect of mental health is definitely found here. Expanding this concept even further, you'll find all your enemies here in Virgo. Virgo rules over enemies, which kind of goes along with weapons because, well, your enemy would point a gun at you, not your best friend, you know what I mean? So you'll find weapons and your enemies. So things like deception and cheating and lies, cruelty, thieves, if you get broken into, somebody coming and taking your stuff, that is a Virgo thing. Just think enemies. It's pretty much unanimous in the ancient text that enemies goes along with Virgo. It's extremely prominent and an obvious correspondence. So if you really don't know where to find your enemies in the zodiac, just look to Virgo and or your 6th house. Hatred and dislike and hostility, that is located in Virgo, which pretty much is the creation of an enemy. Anyone you hate is technically your enemy. You'll find wicked behavior in Virgo. Your uncle on your mom's side, that is located in Virgo. Your debts are located in Virgo, as well as your obstacles. This sign rules over storms and hurricanes. Because Mercury rules over the air, you'll find it very involved with seasonal changes. It's a windy sign. So we know that Virgo rules over your health, diseases, your physical body, and all of that. And tied in with this is food and the dishes you eat, basically. Food is an intimate aspect of our physical health. So food is located here. Now this is something that no one ever talks about, but I'm just going to. If you look at the 12 zodiac signs, you'll find that it corresponds with the 10 commandments plus the 2 that sum them up. And the 6th commandment is thou shalt not kill. And that is assigned to Virgo because you know that your enemies kill you. And it's also destruction of the physical vessel. So it's intimately tied to the 6th commandment. And it's been said that when the moon goes around the entire zodiac, it's testing you in every single commandment. And we can't get out of here until we master all of the commandments. Your enemies can bring about things like battle, fighting on the streets, litigation, pretty much anything that your enemies bring to you, that is a Virgo thing. They're trying to destroy you in one way or another. Opposition doesn't always have to be physical, where they literally kill you. It can be their opposition to you. If you want to look deeper into this sign of Virgo, determine which house it's in as well. Your house placement will make your reading much more precise, specific, and individualized for you. That will give you way more information than just understanding the sign of Virgo alone. In future videos, I'll be going over what it's like when your sun or your moon goes through Virgo specifically. Today was just about understanding Virgo in general, what it stands for, and the magnetism it can draw in your life. If you'd like to stay connected with astrology videos from this channel, you can subscribe for free below, and for more insight, you can visit astrologyby33.com. And as always, please remember to only use astrology as a guideline, not to use it as doctrine. You are given the gift of free will. You are more powerful than what is written in your horoscope. With knowledge comes power to understand your path. If you want to overcome the magnetism and negative influence of the planets in your life, the daily practice of Kriya Yoga is strongly recommended in order to dissolve your past evil, negative karma, which we all have. The kingdom is within you, and that includes all the zodiac signs. With God, all things are possible. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Much love to all of you, and God bless. Take me into